Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Today, we're going to be talking about this $10,000 Inc. business credit card hack that a lot of the so called pros are using to get more money out of Chase. Okay. And so, what that consists of is understanding the steps. All right. And so, breaking down the steps so you understand it. And for those of you just finding the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. I hope this video is going to be beneficial to you. And if so, please share it. All right. So, let's talk about it. The first thing is, are you going to apply in person or online? Now, this is very important. And the reason it's important, because if you go in person, right, and you're applying for a business credit card, it's always best to let the person that's applying for the card be direct in contact with the underwriters. So this is why I always tell people, if you can take advantage of going inside the bank, let them put in the numbers. That way, if Chase comes back with a lower number versus what you expect, then that banker can actually call the underwriting department and they can ask if they can increase it for you. All right. And so that's very important. And a lot of people miss out on that. Other than that, if Chase is just going offline, going off the application that you put in online, what they're going to be looking for, because you're not there to verify the information in front, they're going to be looking at not only just the credit score, they're trying to identify the address, they're trying to identify how many accounts is online, all of that stuff. But going inside, you have the leverage. All right. So that's number one. Number two is, should you use a chef corp or a new corporation? Now, here's the thing about it, that people assume that because they have an age chef corp, that they should get a lot more money. Excuse me. So here's the thing about it. The only way that a chef corp can benefit versus a new corporation, if that chef corp has back taxes filed, it also has bank statements, all right? Because they usually want to see 3 to 6 months of bank statements, especially when you are just coming into an institution like Chase, all right? Now, here's the thing about it. I don't knock anybody for chef corporations, all right? I just tell you, the best thing to do with a chef corporation is make sure it's in the state that you reside in. Because I know a lot of people, they go to Wyoming, they go to Delaware, they go to all these other places instead of this place that they actually reside in to get that chef corp. But the main thing, again, about the chef corp that a lot of people miss out on, if the taxes isn't filed, if you don't have 3 to 6 months of bank statements, that chef corp is acting just like a brand new company. All right. And then here's the killer part, you still have to use your personal credit. So don't assume because you have this chef corp and you have taxes and bank statement, they're just going to give you money. A lot of institutions, they're still going to look at the personal credit. All right. Unless you have a lot of high revenue. And also, there's actually a magic number that changes you from a small business to a large business. And I'm going to tell you the key to that in a minute. So here's the thing about it, talking about what type of business. Are you in a high risk business versus a low risk business when you're trying to get a Chase business credit card? Well, guess what? Either one. When you're starting out in business, even if you're in a high risk business, Chase is flexible enough, they'll still give you a credit card. All right. Now, again, it's going to be geared off of the personal credit, how long you've been in business, you know, what's on the credit file. So that's the thing about it. Like with Chase versus like Navy Federal, if you're in a high risk business, Navy Federal won't even touch it, won't even open up a checking account. However, with Chase, they will still at least give you a business credit card. All right. Now, the next one, whether you should be an LLC, a S Corp, C Corp, or DBA, which one will give you the most money? Now, here's the thing about it. Whenever you're operating as an LLC or an S Corp or a DBA, all right, your LLC and your S Corp, these are pass through companies. Your S Corp, yes, can act like a corporation, all right? However, I always tell people, if you want the biggest bang for your buck, all right, and this is why we set up C corporations, is to make sure that financial institutions recognize you as a growth company. You need to understand that with C corporations, they recognize you as a growth company. With your pass through companies, they will give you funding, but they do not recognize you as a growth company. And I'll tell you another thing about this. With the C corporation, if you take a loss in a business, guess what? You can get a tax return. If you take a loss with these pass through, you more likely won't get a tax return because they're not designed for that. All right. So just keep that in mind. Now, I'm not a tax advisor. You want to check with them. But as long as we've been setting up these corporations, and I'll tell you one other thing to add to it, make sure if you're operating as an LLC or S Corp or DBA, you need to make sure your accountant is not filing you as a loss. Okay. This can also cripple you not only with Chase for us raising more capital, but also with other institutions. So when your credit goes bad, however, if the company is still profitable, other institutions will still give you money. All right. So that's the reason why I'm telling you that. And a lot of people don't explain that. All right. Now, question goes again, a business credit card versus a business line of credit. All right. Now, here's the thing about it. Interesting thing about it. With Chase, you want to start with the business credit card. Forget about the business line of credit because this business credit card basically is a business line of credit. Now, the Chase Inc. Cash a business credit card is 0% interest on purchases and balance transfers for 12 months. So that's the reason why you would want to start out, so you're not paying any interest at all versus with this business line of credit. Okay, so don't focus on it. You just want to build that relationship. Okay, now before we talk about this here 524 and all this here, I want to address this here $10,000 Chase Inc. business hack. So basically, what it is that, say that you had luck with another institution or you got money from a margin account or something like that. Having that money, at least $10,000 deposited into your Chase Inc. business account, leaving it there for 90 days. Okay. Now, what that does, it helps with your business bank rating, right? Now, during that 90-day process, you still want to use your debit card, your business debit card, and stuff like that, but you do not want to apply. The reason is, if you want to get 10,000 plus out of Chase coming off the bat, then this is the strategy. All right. You do not want to apply. You just want to keep on just making the small deposits, $50, $100 and stuff for the next 90 days. All right. And leaving that $10,000 in there. So what happens once they approve you, you're going to get $10,000 or more. See, when you're a new company and you're starting with Chase, usually Chase more likely going to start you out with between $5,000 to $8,000. Now, why do I say $5,000? The reason is because they're going to give you a Visa signature card. All right. And most Visa signature cards, they start out with $5,000. Now, if it's a Visa Infinite card, that card usually starts out at $10,000. However, again, you brand new, they're definitely going to look at starting you out less than 10,000. So that's the reason why. And I hope that you all are finding some type of inspiration to listen to me, because this is very important. For a lot of people are not aware that all of this goes on behind the scene. They just keep on hearing people say, oh, apply for a Chase Inc. business credit card. Now, here's another key reason that you may want a relationship with Chase. Because Chase reports to the business credit bureaus, all right? And a lot of people, they uh, fumble the ball on this. And here's the reason why. You may have a very profitable business, all right? However, you're with a community bank or you may be with a credit union. And so, since you are with one of those institutions, they're more likely not reporting your business transactions to the business credit bureaus. All right. And so since they're not doing that, let's just say that again, that your credit tanks. However, you have all these business transactions. I've had clients in the oil industry that did over $1 million. Okay. And their local bank would not give them a $10,000 loan, right? Because they did not have a business credit file established. Had they had a established business credit file, and again, like with Chase, making those deposits, then they could have went to other institutions to verify that income. Now, there, because of technology and stuff, there's a lot of fintech companies on the market that will look at other institutions, but your main bet is with Chase Bank. If you're gonna do any of your main banking, do it with Chase, Capital One, or Citibank if you want those transactions to report to the business credit bureaus. Now, Bank of America, American Express, they report to Small Business Financial Exchange, and that information is picked up with um, Experian and Dun and Bradstreet. All right, and that's another key factor. Do you need a Dun's number? Do you need Dun and Bradstreet to get a Chasing Business credit card? No. No, as a matter of fact, you can have a dog grooming business. You can have a a baking, a catering business or whatever. All right. Just long as you have an active business that has revenue coming in and you have an open checking account with them, they don't have an issue with giving you a credit card. All right. Now, here's something else you have to understand that a lot of people don't do, unfortunately, is again having those regular deposits. All right. It's very important to have regular deposits. All right. So they can see that you're actually operating the account. Now, is that written in stone? No. All right. However, to your benefit, having regular deposits, I don't care if you're working for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, and stuff. Here's the hack that I always tell people: you open up a business account with PayPal, and that's a separate video because this hack definitely helps you. Open up a separate business account with PayPal, then transfer the all your payments from Uber, Lyft, and stuff over to your PayPal, then transfer it over to your Chase. Okay. And the reason you do that, because again, if you have challenging credit and stuff, when PayPal see that you have deposits and stuff, they will give you funding as well. All right. So that's the reason why that I tell you that. Now, back to these last few, again, Chase 524 rule. Does the Chase 524 rule still apply? Now, for those of you that are new to this or whatever, the 524, you have five new revolving accounts in the past 24 months. All right. So your revolving accounts like open credit cards. Now, here's the thing you have to be careful on, because if you have a 524, all right, and let's just say one of those is an authorized user, but it's a part of that 524, then you have to call a recon line so they can acknowledge it's just an authorized user. That way they don't count that against you, or a line of credit. All right. Because just those small things will disqualify you. All right. So that's the reason why that I'm telling you that. So, in terms of you having a 524 and applying for the business credit card, now Chase may let you get by with it with a 624 or 724. Because I have seen clients with a 724 and they actually still got approved with Chase. All right. So another thing is the inquiries. Now, that's also a tricky thing. So with the inquiries, again, I always tell you the danger zone is usually six inquiries. All right. So if you had six inquiries within the past 6 months, all right, this can be something that hurts you. Now, Chase, usually on the Chasing business credit card, they're going to pull Experian. Now, the lowest credit score that I've seen, okay, is a 650 credit score, and somebody was still approved. But however, that was because they actually had a long-term personal relationship, and that's another thing. Should you have a personal relationship before applying for the business credit card to have more leverage? I would say absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Now, Here's another thing, and this is very, very important. The co-partner versus the regular bank chasing business credit card. Here's the thing about it. With co-partner cards, business cards with Chase, you will have a higher chance at a higher limit and faster approval than with the Chase Inc. business credit card. So if you want a higher limit, okay, and faster approval, the co-partner cards, that's like with Southwest and United. You may have like a Marriott card or something like that, but if it's a co-partner card, you definitely going to get a higher limit. All right, so that's one thing about it. But the best Chase business credit card, closing out, the best Chase business credit card would be the Chase Ink Cash card. Okay, and so with that Chase Ink Cash card, again, is a Visa signature card. Most of the time it's going to start you out at about $5,000. All right, so I know this is a long video, but I hope that it's helpful to you all. If you have any question about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.